You know what? I just feel like sometimes I come on do this podcast just to moan. The original plan today was that I was going to release a podcast with a special guest on it. So yesterday we went down to Replace Base in Northamptonshire and we shot a really good podcast, a really good conversation with Steve, the owner of Replace Base. He's got a lot of exciting things going on at the minute. However, due to some circumstances out of our control, the footage is just not good enough, and we're having problems with the footage. So that one will be released next week, just because we can't cut it, edit it, and get it out there in the time frame. It just takes a little bit longer when it's a two-way conversation because of the camera angles and stuff. So we just don't have the time to push that out there right now. So I do apologise if I mentioned it last week, I think, and you were expecting Steve to be on the podcast. It's just me, and I've come on the podcast today. I'm stressed out of my mind. It's only going to be a very quick one, but I can't lose the streak of posting these podcasts because I've done it nearly every week this year. So, for your sake, I'm going to moan for the next 5-10 minutes about what's been going on. I'm not really going to talk about repairing stuff, but I'm just going to talk about all the problems that I've got. So, I'm sorry to share my problems with you and put that onto you, but I hope that you're all having a better week than I am. To start off, I went to the park last Sunday morning with my son and we had a really nice rainy walk around the park. It didn't matter that it was pissing down with rain, it was just one of those things. But on the way back, somebody crashed into the back of my car. That car what I've had it for a few months, and it was an old car, right? I had problems with my Astra what I had before that, and my dad passed me this Hyundai i30, which I was blessed for him to give me. It was old, it wasn't worth much money, and somebody crashed into the back of it. The insurance deemed it a write-off, and so that is what it is. I was a little bit like whiplash injuries. My son was in there, he was all right. Everybody was okay, but they didn't at the back end, and the insurance have deemed it a write-off because it's an old car. And I get that, I understand. So that's left me, I've got a hire car at the minute from the insurance, but it's sort of left me in a position where I need to buy a car where I didn't want to buy a car. So I have arranged a nice car. We've gone for the Audi A4 Avant, and I'm happy with it. So all is well and good. It's caused me a bit of stress running about, trying to juggle the business and arrange to buy a new car. But life is good again because I'm going to have a nice shiny car. Probably a little bit prematurely. We'd not really put funds together for it. So the money that I had sort of in mind for projects within eye doctor has had to be took out just so we could buy ourselves a nice car, which we've been long overdue. And maybe it'll work out okay in the end, and we can source the funds. And it just puts a couple of projects that I've got in mind on delay. So the main project is the app, what I'm developing, the back room that I'm trying to develop, and also I want to start selling parts to you guys, right? That's on hold now, just temporarily. I've got a web guy who's working on some stuff, but I've just had to put it on hold. So it is what it is. That's our situation. But then it gets worse, right? Because yesterday, as I was driving back from Northampton, I started getting a text for two-factor authentication. It's well documented that we use Epos Now as our payment terminal. So we take credit and debit cards through Epos Now's system. And up to now, it's been flawless. Realistically, it might be a bit expensive. The card payments are cheap, but the actual the terminal costs a bit of money to get started up. And yeah, apart from that, like the add-ons are expensive as well because they don't have a bulk upload feature. That's my only criticism for it until yesterday. I got a two-factor authentication text message come through from Epos Now yesterday. What I normally do in those situations, right, it's probably not the most secure of things to do. I text them straight to my member of staff. Because if I'm not there, he's probably trying to log into something, and the last thing he wants to be doing while he's trying to log into something is calling me up, can you give me the code? So I just normally forward him straight onto him. And he's like, I've not really requested that code, Ollie. And I didn't think that much of it. I thought, okay, somebody's just tried to get into my account. When I get back, I'll change the password, and it should be okay. When I've gone to log in, the password has been changed. Not only the password has been changed because I've gone through the forgotten password thing, and I've not received an email with a code, and I'm like, something's going on here. So I've rang them up, and the support is okay, don't get me wrong, but it could be better. When I've spoke to the support, they're like, okay, I don't really know what's going on here. The person on the phone were absolute garbage, the first person. They weren't English. English wasn't their first language, so they were struggling they were struggling with that, and they were using a lot of slang, and it was disappointing because I'm like, look, this is a really important matter. I want to speak formally on this. I don't want, oh my God, what's going on here? It's not. It just don't cut it right now. I need to get to the bottom of this. Put me onto somebody, and I went Karen mode. Get me the manager. And it took a long time before they'd actually put like somebody in charge on the phone to me, and I ended up speaking to someone in America then, who was like, okay, we can put the payments on stop, because what they'd cleverly done is logged into the back end, and whatever payments I was taking would have been sent to their account. That, obviously, we got that put on stop straight away, but they were constantly, it was really, really thorough how they'd done this, because they'd changed the email address. But it wasn't just one of those, you know when you receive a spam email and it's from like a generic name, they created a email account with my name in it, and it was like oliver.idoctor@hotmail.com or something like that. They've also created a bank account, what's in iDoctor's name. How they've done that, I just don't know. They've changed the phone number on the account, so they got past the two-factor authentication, what was on there, so it was sending text messages to them. So every time I was trying to log in, they knew, because they were getting a 2FA text, and it was so much. I don't know if I was talking about this last week, how we got a customer in who was like pretty much crying because they'd had all their accounts compromised, and no matter what they were doing, it was driving them insane. So this is like, honestly, I didn't sleep last night. It's just been chaos. It's been hell. My wife got an email from Epos Now, and it's like, what? How have they got all this information? So I'm like going through every single password that I've got and changing it, and I'm like considering changing my phone number, changing email addresses, and just trying to really get to the bottom of it. I think it's sorted now, but the real icing on the cake from them was I got an email this morning, and it's like, somebody called me from Epos Now's capital department. So that's them who they'll give a loan against what you're taking in the shop. So they'll give you a loan. Obviously, cash flow can be difficult sometimes. So they'll give you a loan, and then they take it from your daily taking. So they take out the amount, whatever. They do it like that, and it's a great way of doing it. But they had obviously tried to apply for one of these loans through my account. I got an email. Your capital has been approved, amount £750,000. How can somebody approve 750 grand without even a telephone call? And it's just like, what? What else are they going to do at this point? Like, it was the other week, my PayPal account, 2.5 grand, 2 grand or something like that. I managed to get that back, and everything was good in the end. I lost my Facebook account, Epos Now account. Like, what is next? Like, I'm losing my mind with it, and it's literally like it's leaving me paranoid and stuff. And not that I've took the piss in the past, but we have had customers in who have been through what I'm guessing is similar situations, and I've thought, Jesus Christ, they are mental. But realistically, it's sending me mental, so I can see how it can go that way, and it's just like. So yeah, that's my week. I've shut the shop this afternoon because I've been on and off the phone with Epos Now. I'm repairing stuff on my own. Alex has been really helpful because obviously he's been taking customer phone calls. We've not turned the phones off, and we're just like picking up only, like, or pre-arranged repairs only for the time being, because I can't be on the phone to Epos Now, dealing with customers who want to come in and have the charge put cleaned out, have a screen protector put on, when I'm trying to deal with all these things, what's going on, I'm just like, I've had enough. So, in other news, in about 2.5 hours' time, I arranged a social for the eye doctor team. So, when you're watching this, we will have been out on the Friday afternoon. We're going to an escape room, and it's a horror-themed one. Obviously, Halloween's coming up. And we have set these meetings that we're having monthly. And it's actually, honestly, it's so useful. Like this, I'm forgetting about all my problems now. I'm telling you something positive. Let's have something positive. It's incredible what can be done when we sit in a pub with a few pints of Guinness and discuss actual work stuff. Like, I don't mind paying the lads extra. I'm taking them out to the escape room and I'll pay for the beer or whatever. And it's great that we can sit down. It's an open forum. There's only 4 of us in total, but obviously not everyone's here all the time. Not everybody's always available to talk about things for an hour because we get so many distractions through the door. If anyone's been in the shop, they know what it's like. Sometimes it's like We're in this tiny space, and there's sometimes 5 or 6 people in here who all want attention. So going and sitting in a pub and doing it is just, honestly, it's mind blowing how productive we can be in that situation. And obviously, like I say, I don't just drag the boys out there and they're all sat there going, "Yes, Ollie, we're really happy to be here." It's genuinely useful and productive time that we're spending, and we like ironed out a load of problems with at the last meeting with the website, some opening times issues, and then like we can just discuss next year's holidays, Christmas opening times, and we're like 2 months ahead with stuff like that. This is important stuff that, yeah, should be sorted out, but because we're so busy, it doesn't get sorted out, but it just brings it to our attention that we can sort that. So my recommendation to you is, if you've got a small team or a big team, is just like really focus on like how you can improve things and look at things better, and that's one of the ways that we can do it. That's all from me. I hope that next week is better. Hopefully I'll be telling you about my new car next week, and everything will be good again, and all this will be in the past. But yeah, have a great weekend, everybody, and I will see you next time. Thanks, as always, for watching.